Our next speaker works within the Human Resources Department for Clare County Council. Her career spans over 28 years, having worked in the banking, educational and local governmental sectors. She's currently leading the recruitment and selection unit in Clare County Council and has oversight of the health and wellbeing initiatives provided for staff, working closely with the learning and development unit in this regard. She was instrumental in securing the 2023 and 2024 CIPD Healthy Ireland Award for enabling a culture of workplace wellbeing and embracing new ways of working for small to medium organisations. And Clare County Council is the only local authority to have secured this CIPD recognition. So it's an incredible achievement. Please put your hands together for the HR lead for recruitment at Clare County Council, Patricia McNamara.
This is our county here. It's a rural-based county. I suppose Ennis is our biggest town. Our chief executive there is Mr. Pat Dowling, and this is the way the organisation is broken down. We have 6 directors, and I suppose following on from that, 6 directorates. So we cover a huge range of activities across the council. Within finance and support services, there's finance, ICT and human resources. Economic development covers planning, the local enterprise office, town and estuary strategies, property management and our Ennis municipal district. Our social development covers housing, Ukrainian and international support, which is new, and also included there is defective concrete blocks, which is now an issue for us in County Clare. Sports and recreation craft activities, and the North Clare Municipal District, which covers out around the area of Ennis Diamond. Our physical development department directorate covers roads and transport infrastructure, environmental services, our fire crews and emergency services, our water services, and they're transitioning now to Uisce Éireann. So we have staff moving from the council to Uisce Éireann, and Shannon Municipal District also comes in under the physical development department. Rural then covers rural development, local development, the culture and the arts, all our library services, our corporate services, communications and Killaloo Municipal District. And then our tourism department, tourism is covers capital development, Shannon Heritage, DigiClare and our West Clare Municipal District. So we cover a vast amount of actually climate change. We have a section on that thrown in somewhere there. I just forgot it, but we cover huge and varied. So we have staff across all of the areas, indoor staff, outdoor staff. So like Irish Rail, indoor staff and outdoor staff, and it's across all of the county. I work in HR and we have 5 distinct areas there, but I suppose we have 989 employees, and that goes up then in terms of we have lifeguards for the summer, beach operatives. So we have all of a coastal county, so we have all of that included. We have 6 directorates, 4 municipal districts, 5 area offices and 28 councillors, which are our elected members. So we're having local elections now soon, which brings a lot of fun to, to the county. Within HR then, I suppose the 5 areas are workforce planning and recruitment. And we're always trying to plan ahead and get new things are coming on stream for us all of the time. Recruitment is ongoing. A lot of people don't leave, but actually there's opportunities now for people to get promotion and stuff. So recruitment is ongoing in the council. Staff wellbeing and welfare is an area we're very proud of. We have a welfare officer on board with us for the last 18 years who has done Trojan work, and it's introduced at induction and it continues on until retirement. And people really value this within Clare County Council. We offer, I suppose, all of the services that Sharon was talking about earlier, and people really value that, the welfare aspect of it. If people get into difficulty, we have benevolent funds, we have all sorts of different initiatives for staff, and they really appreciate the wellbeing side of things. Learning and development is another area. We have a huge scope within that and a lot of training, and people can go on and do all sorts of learning and development activities. We have industrial relations when things go wrong, as they sometimes do. And then we have pension and payroll services, which, you know, keeps track of, make sure everybody's paid, and then people's pension in the public service that is transferred from one organisation to the other. And then CORE is our system that we use to keep track of everybody's details and all their personal and financial details so they get paid. Our guiding strategies then, I suppose, we have corporate plan and the management objectives, and they'll be renewed again this year. Following on from them, in our 6 directorates, there's director plans. Within that, then we have team development plans, and from those team plans, everybody has a personal development plan. So you can see it follows all the way through, up and down the system. Everybody's connected to contribute to the corporate and management objectives. We have an innovation team, so hopefully, Nick, all of our creative people are on that, contributing to new ideas. And we're guided by, I suppose, our local and national digital strategies. And we have a new Clare digital strategy, which is launched in 2023, and that's for 5 years. I suppose what we did to get new ways of working, as I said, we're a rural setting with the service provision in every part of the county. And trying to get people working on the go. The need was accelerated by the pandemic, and all of the activities I'm going to talk about are all brand new. Everything was new for us in the last 4 years, a huge change for a local authority. And we always have the background to improve health, our safety and well-being of staff. That's always key to us. And then our digital strategies guided those too. And what we did then, I suppose, I worked across all areas of HR, and we were early adopters, I suppose, of a lot of the technologies and things that I'm going to talk about, and led on many of these initiatives. And I suppose the impact was then across the whole organisation. People could see what we were sending out because it involved all the staff. We had new ICT developments and upgrades, I suppose, with the pandemic, and we always brought and trained, bring training on board for all staff in these initiatives. These are some of the stuff that we did. So we introduced Microsoft Forms. So we reviewed everything in HR and automated everything where we could, absolutely everything. So people weren't filling out sheets of paper. We were getting stuff back electronically. We used DocuSign then for contracts and our interview boards. So we had electronic signatures coming back. We saved an awful lot of paper as well. We introduced online staff engagement. We automated our personal development, our personal performance management development system. I reduced the pages from about 20 pages down to 2 where people had to fill out, and then automated where they submitted their training request back. We introduced e-recruitment last year, which is really great for us. We introduced single sign-on systems. So if we have like a couple of different packages, there's just one single sign-on. You don't have logins for every single system that we use. We now have flexible remote working patterns and leave entitlements. And this next initiative was really great, our outdoor workers. So we introduced tablets across to outdoor workers and the supervisors, so they could do temporary traffic management systems on the go. GIS systems for mapping trees out around the county, and even walk around checks with their vehicles. So they just input it into the tablet and didn't have to come back filling out paperwork. We offered remote wellbeing training for everybody who was working remotely. We also introduced the right to disconnect policy so that people didn't feel that they had to work 24/7, because sometimes that's the expectation in people's heads. Talk to you a little bit further about our blended working policy and what we did to introduce that. We introduced cybersecurity training to make sure that people were safe when they were working from home. Online training, learning and development platform was introduced so people could access everything online. We introduced an online newsletter. All of our wellbeing seminars are recorded, and people could play them back, 24/7 whenever they wanted to. This one here, I Have Your Say platform, was useful for staff and the public, so people could have their say on any consultation processes that we have across the county, but also staff to have their say too. We now have HR analytics, which we can analyze all of our HR data, which is great, and preempt retirements and people's age and the age profile and whatnot. We introduced a new wellbeing hub to augment, I suppose, the wellbeing officer role, and that's available to people 24/7. They can look at all sorts of things on that. We have a digital hub infrastructure across the county, so in every part of Clare there's a digital hub. We have lone worker devices for people going out when they're working on their own, so that they're safe. live work updates. So the lads are putting their stuff in on tablets. The work is updated straight away. We have a new CRM system. There's online induction modules for new starters. So every new starter gets a suite of training to do before they start the real work, I suppose. We have time management apps, and then HR have an online help desk at command all the time, and we get back to people. So those are some of the initiatives that we introduced. I suppose these changes, the working from home began in 2020. Every administration member was issued with a laptop since the pandemic, replacing PCs. So we now have a docket station, so you can bring your laptop with you everywhere, which is good and bad. We have online training delivered regularly. As I said, our outdoor staff were introduced with tablets, so we're going to roll that out further as we go. Our emergency funding streams, like people applying for restart grants, that was all automated so that the public didn't have to get out sheets of paper and application forms. They could apply online. We introduced the online recruitment system, which is great. That's only just been launched, and you can see, you know, we're asking people for their driver's license and whatnot. You can see people uploading them from the dash of their car or their counter at home. So it's interesting the pictures that are coming in, but we're getting what we need, so it's working. We have 12 digital hubs, and this is the personal development plan. They're coming, we get about 700 of them annually as well. The impact of all of this, I suppose, is that 75% of our administration staff now avail of blended working. And that means 400 staff are working from home on a regular basis, which is a complete departure from what we did. We all worked in the office all of the time. So it's a big change. We have a reduction in health and safety instances as a result of online training in terms of slips, trips and falls. So people are doing more training, and it's had an impact in terms of health and safety. Our emergency schemes are delivered online. And the e-recruitment system can be administered by our recruitment team at home as well, which is great, so that we have access to that all the time. The live work updates reduce admin by about 30%. So people, as I said, don't have to come back to the desk typing in information again. Our hubs are in the rural areas. And this next one, I suppose, our PDP, we used to have 12 legal arch folders, but now we just have one spreadsheet, and we can get all the training requests in really quickly and do them in real time. How we did all of this, I suppose, we created close links with IT, and we spent our budget wisely. We had to look and see, well, what was there and how could we use it to its best potential. And so we've explored every single avenue that we had there and exploited it. Our innovation team fields new initiatives, and we project manage new initiatives, taking feedback on board from all of the staff all of the time. Our priorities when we were doing this was HR supported management and staff through all the initiatives, and the support is available all the time. Health and safety and wellbeing was always important to us. The digital strategy guided us. All of the initiatives are evidence-based and outcome-driven. So we collected all of the evidence on what people wanted, and then we got outcomes based on what they were looking for. So people were happy with all of the changes. The efficiencies then, they benefit the public and the staff, which is great. So there's a dual purpose. And the flexibility to work remotely and on the move had a huge impact in terms of work-life balance. And also we can have consistency in emergency services and in times of emergencies. So that's really good. So our blended working, I'll just talk a little bit through this. So every role was assessed for suitability for blended working. All the nearly 1,000 roles now. Not every role is suitable for blended working, but everybody's entitled to apply for blended working. So we automated all of this. We put in online DSE assessments for everybody. Cybersecurity training was provided. Online application process was introduced. Two-factor authentication and blended working patterns were recorded. So this graph, I suppose, gives you a better idea of what. So I was tasked with introducing the blended working policy for the council. It was a 40-page document and it was very cumbersome. So I put it into this 12-point plan and people could follow. So first of all, people had to read the blended working policy. I'm not sure we did, but they applied anyway. So they had to discuss then their blended working arrangements within their section. So everybody had to apply at the same time, so people knew who was applying to what, and they could assess it as the department to see who could get it. People apply then through the links. We automated all of this too, and there's a 12-week turnaround in this 12-point plan. So, and actually this is rolled out now quarterly, so it's still in use. So people then got approval or refusal. So if they got refused, people hopped down to point 10, and the grounds for refusal had to be given to the employee, and they could appeal that if they wanted to, and then get a final decision on that. If people were approved, we put them on to do some training to make sure that people were safe when they work from home. They had to do online workstation assessment awareness training, GDPR training, and cybersecurity training. We also asked them to submit workstation self-assessment declarations. So that's just an idea of where they were working at home to see if it was a suitable place. We then did the ergonomics assessment with everybody, so that it was carried out by a competent ergonomics professor to see did we need to make adjustments and all of that. And if we did need to make adjustments, we gave the equipment to the staff. And then finally, the blended working agreement was signed by the line manager and the employee. So that's a formal arrangement in place now. People have to, when they start first, they have to come into the office for 6 months, and then they can apply for blended working. So that's the way it works. This one here on the move, so our everyday inspections and traffic management of people working on the go. We can organise one-off events in terms of weather emergencies and cultural and sporting events. Our on-site home inspections are done now on the tablets out and around. We've remote offices around the county, and our e-recruitment has really been successful. It's helped everybody. This is, I suppose, our employee-centred approach. So we have an NSAI Excellence Through People Gold Award as well, and we're evaluating on that every year. So we're doing another assessment in May. That's on all of our HR services. So we have a HR system and employee wellbeing score of over 89%, which is great. Employee wellbeing always scores really highly. The staff engagement surveys, and this is an example there in the corner of our wellbeing hub. So in January, it gives you a kind of an activity list of what you might like to do in January and walks around the county or what's on. So this is our learning and development platform, and with behind each of these little tabs, there's a suite of programs that people can do training and development on. So you can choose, people have to submit training every year with their personal development plan. So you can choose to lead yourself, lead your team, some wellbeing initiatives. We have continuing education programs, so people can do a certificate, a diploma, degree, a master's, and that's all paid for by Clare County Council. We have continuous professional development as well for our professional grades, like our engineers, our accountants, and what else is in there? Climate action, diversity and inclusion. So all of that's in our learning and development platform. Here's an example of the cybersecurity training that we introduced with the blended working. So this is kind of micro training. People have to do maybe 6 or 8 minutes of this every month, so that we're aware of cyber attacks and how not to click on whatever emails come in that you shouldn't. This is an example of the Microsoft forms at the back end, and including our staff engagement surveys. And this is what we see from our side, and you can see there all the responses that we get in, and it's really useful. This is the e-recruitment, what it looks like. So before, people used to have to download an application, print it off, upload it again, and now people just click on the job vacancies and apply online, which is a huge achievement for us, because everything was paper-based before this, and it was very cumbersome. The learnings and all of this was we try and need to stay on top of technology and developments, which is difficult, but I think we're on a roll. We'll keep going with what we can. We have to ensure that no one is left behind because of our outdoor workers. We developed the extranet, and when they come in for induction, we put on all of these platforms on their phones so they have access to this. But just try to make sure that everybody is included in all of these changes. We will continue to support employees, and also the right to disconnect, that people don't feel they have to be answering emails at 10 o'clock at night. And we have increased staff consultation, and we always get involved in pilot projects at a national level where we can too, which is helping us along the way. These are two of the awards that we've won. One in 2023, which is Embedding a Culture of Workplace Wellbeing in the medium and small category. And then this year we won Embracing New Ways of Working, which is great. So this is a little video of embracing new ways of working and working remotely.
Like many organisations, Clare County Council has had to adapt to a whole new culture of working, whether that's around remote working, where we work from, or flexible working, when we work, and indeed smart working, how we work. And Clare County Council has engaged in this process and have performed very well in doing so.
The ways in which we deliver learning and development has been completely transformed since the pandemic. So we now have a huge variety of courses on offer. Last year we launched a new platform called Met Compliance, and this is mainly used for delivering health and safety learning and cyber security. Currently we have about 400 staff that are engaged in blended working. It has really revolutionised people's working lives. So not only are we saving on our carbon footprint, but we're improving the quality of life of our staff members.
ProWorks is an online platform whereby we can select temporary traffic management plans out on site, conduct safe system work plan, site-specific risk assessments. It leads to efficiencies and more effectiveness due to site crews being able to select and deploy temporary traffic management out on the roadworks projects and conduct a site-specific risk assessment at the location. The use of ProWorks ultimately allows a safer working environment for our outdoor staff. Live work status updates also protects the safety of our staff out on the ground.
So here in Clare County Council in the Housing Department, we use the tablets in conjunction with Survey 123 to carry out all our rental inspections throughout the county. This means our team can be carrying them out digitally while on the move throughout the county. I would estimate that our team is now saving about 30% on our inspection times. Now that all the information is live and active, any member of my team can log in and pick up from where our colleagues had left off. This is particularly helpful for staff who are on leave, holidays, or any staff turnovers we have when new staff members starting.
My current role at ICT department is to develop and manage GIS-based mapping solutions. To date, we have developed GIS-based mapping solutions and management dashboards for tree survey inspections, fire home safety check inspections, and RTB inspections.
And Clare County Council has very much embraced this whole new culture, and all of our staff and employees have engaged in this process and have performed very well in doing so.